Hi, this is Toby, and today I'll be showing you how to grow some Astrophytum from seed. And I've got some more Astrophytum seeds here with me. These were gifted to me by another member of the Cactus and Succulent Society of New South Wales. And right now, it's a good time to plant them. I know it's summer now, and usually I plant these seeds in spring, but because I just got them yesterday, I'm going to just plant them now. It's really warm. I have some soil here. What I've done is I've sterilized the soil by pouring some boiling water in it, and then after a few minutes I've cooled it down so it's at room temperature. This is just some normal cacti and succulent mix you can get from the store. I'm not going to add anything special to it. They need a bit more water at this stage. I've got my seeds in here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some horticultural sand in here to mix it up, and so I can distribute the seeds more evenly, and I'll show you how to do that. So I've just added some sand in here, and what I'm going to do, you can see, I'm going to mix it up, and the sands and the seed should incorporate with each other as much as possible. Maybe I'll add a bit more sand. No, I think that should be enough. That should be enough sand. So now that everything's mixed, what I'm going to do is pour my sand and seed mixture. Let's see if I can do this carefully. There we go. Just sprinkle everything on. I think I should have added a bit more sand. Actually, no, I should have enough. I'm just going to sprinkle everything on as evenly as possible, so the sands and the seed gets distributed. The seeds get buried in the sand slightly, but not too much. That's very important. You don't want to bury your seeds completely. Just make sure every last bit of sand and seed goes in. I still have a single seed in here. Let's see if I can get that out, because I do want... Oh! That's okay. It's a bit... I think I'll put it in the corner. Hopefully that doesn't contaminate it, but that's looking pretty good. I'm going to close the lid now to provide humidity, and because of how warm it is, it should start to germinate in a few days. Now I have this container around the outside. The reason it being is, in my previous setup where I was growing a lot of seeds, I had a little mini greenhouse. This would have been a mini greenhouse setup I had, and you can see my other Astrophytum seedlings are doing well in there, and I could just bottom water it and top water at the same time, and it'll keep a lot of moisture. Now I don't have space for another one of those systems, so I kind of have to improvise here, and I can also add water to the bottom, and I will do that. In fact, I will add some systemic fungicide, because it's very important that you don't get fungal issues in these early stages of seedling development, because they're very, very vulnerable to fungal issues. And that's been the challenge for me, at least, of why I haven't been successful at growing seeds in the past. I'm just going to get some systemic fungicide that I've prepped earlier, and I'm going to just pour some in the bottom here, just like that. Not too much. That should be good. And now that they're in a moist condition, I expect them to germinate within 2 weeks, certainly within 2 weeks, probably even within a week. So here's an update of the Astrophytum seeds. You can see that it's only been a few days and they're starting to germinate. I hope you can see through the lid. This is incredible. We've got loads of seeds germinating. I won't be aerating it yet. I know it's been quite a hot day. I might just open the lid and let some of the water droplets fall back down into the pot. But other than that, it's doing really, really well. I won't probably open the lid until they get a bit bigger, but I will be fertilizing them soon, and I'll let you know when I do that. So here's an update of the Astrophytum seedlings. I'm going to water them, but first let me show you what they look like. Let's open this up. Beautiful little seedlings. I know I have a lot. Some of them are getting a bit crowded. I can't really do anything about that. They're too small to move at this stage. If you're wondering why some of them are really pale, those are variegated seedlings, and I'm not sure if they're going to make it, because usually variegated seedlings don't make it on their own roots. I could try grafting them. I do have some Hylocereus I could graft them onto, but they're so small right now. If they do manage to get a bit bigger, I will be grafting them. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add some fertilizer. So what I've done here is I've just crushed up some slow release cacti succulent fertilizer from Osmocote, and I find that this works for me. Now you could use a liquid feed, which I do recommend because it's a lot easier than actually just crushing up your own fertilizer, but this works for me, and I kind of just sprinkle it on like I'm seasoning something, and this will give your plants a bit of a boost because at this stage you do want them to get big quite quickly so they don't die from disease because they're very susceptible right now. So now that I've kind of fertilized it or put fertilizer, I'm going to spray it in with just normal water. So I've got normal water here. I'm just misting it. This will help dissolve everything. Again, if I put the individual pellets in, it's going to take too long for them to dissolve before any of its action or before any of the ions get into the soil. So by crushing it up, kind of makes it easier for the plants to access. And now that I've done that, I'm going to get rid of my water in the spray and replace it with systemic fungicide so I can spray everything because I've opened it and that could risk fungal infections. So now I've loaded the mister up with systemic fungicide. I'm giving everything another good spray just so there's no fungal issues, because when they're this dense, if one little seedling gets infected, it's going to spread very quickly. So I'm just spraying it with systemic fungicide, giving it a good spray. I'm going to spray the lid as well as I close it, because there could be some on the surface. I'm just spraying the lid, and now I'm going to close it. I'm going to put it back, and when they grow a bit bigger, I'll show you an update. So here's an update of the cacti seedlings. You can see they're growing really well. I just sprayed them with some more systemic fungicide, and you can see I've got no fungal issues. There is a bit of algae or whatever that's growing in the sand that's making it a bit green, but that's because I added so much nutrients to it. That's pretty normal. I'm going to keep this drier now because slowly I'm going to have to start acclimatizing them to life without this cover. And if you can notice, some of them have already started growing the aerial, which you can see in some of the seedlings over there. And probably within a month or so, when they get a bit bigger, I'll start aerating it more. Right now I just open it once a day when I check them, but other than that I keep this closed, and I want to make sure there is a lot of water and nutrients in there so the seedlings can get big. So here is another Astrophytum seedling update. You can see I haven't touched them at all pretty much. I've just left them in here, and most of them are starting to grow into little stars. You can see some of them starting to get their shape, and probably in a week or so I'll stop putting the lid on them and kind of just let them grow like this and just check with the water. But other than that, these are doing really well. So here's an update of the Astrophytum seedlings. I've opened the cover because some parts like there looks like it could be developing some mold or something, and whenever I notice any sort of fungal issues, I just open the lid and add some systemic fungicide. And these seedlings are big enough to live without the lid on. I will still keep them quite wet, but I just don't want it to be super humid. I can see a thick layer of algae also building up on the bottom, so this should help it slowly acclimatize to an environment without the lid. But you can see the seedlings are coming along really nicely, although the variegated ones pretty much have not grown at all because they don't have any chlorophyll. But all the normal seedlings, they're doing quite well. So here's another Astrophytum seedling update. Now, usually I wouldn't separate the plants out at this stage, but it's getting too crowded in there. I'm finding that the soil is taking a long time to dry because the seedlings are taking up the surface and some of them are starting to rot. I have just separated out some interesting looking ones. You can see there's a 3-sided myriostigma one, and that's what I'm going to do. Just kind of use a toothpick. I'll just quickly demonstrate what I'm going to do actually. I'm just going to see some of the bigger seedlings because I think those are safe to transplant. I'm just going to slowly use the toothpick and take the seedling out. So you can see the seedling looks like this, and I'm just putting it into more well draining soil. just so stuff dries up quickly and I can thin out some of the seedlings. So I'm going to just quickly do that and show you what I've got. So here are just some of the seedlings I've separated out. Obviously I'm not going to do all of them today. I won't pull out all of the seedlings, but over the next few days when I have some spare time, I will just pick out some seedlings and slowly thin this container. And to make it dry faster right now, I could put a little fan here and blow it, which is what I might do. So here's another update of the Astrophytum seedlings. You can see they're still growing well. The ones I've separated out, I've kind of just chucked in the greenhouse, which I'll show you. I've kept them up here. They get more heat and they get more light. And I'm just doing that because I want these to grow a bit quicker, because these look like they have very special traits. You can see I've got a 3-ribbed one here. And I want these to grow quicker so I can see what they are. Whereas the other ones, they seem quite ordinary and I will probably sell most of them. They do grow quite quickly once they get to a certain size. You can see some of my, I think these are 3 years old. Look how big my Astrophytum seedlings are. Look at this one especially. They grow very quickly. So once they do start to grow, it grows pretty quickly. It will still take many years to get a mature plant like that. It'll probably take around 5 or 6 years. But again, when you grow from seed, you get interesting traits. And these are the ones that I've found particularly interesting that I'm going to grow a bit quicker. So here's a final update of the Astrophytum seedlings. I've just put them here because I'm growing some other stuff down there. But look at the amount of seedlings we have. Look how healthy they look. Now, I will just talk a bit about the care about them over winter. So right now I'm keeping them dry. They're not really growing that much. But if I notice them starting to shrivel up a bit, I will just slightly mist them. You don't want to water deeply during winter because they will rot, but seedlings can't really go the entire winter without having some water, because all my other cacti, I don't water them at all, but the seedlings, they need a bit of water. So I will just mist them probably once a month or so, especially during days that are not that cold. I've got the ones I've separated out here. Let's see if I can come in and show you. See, they've grown a lot quicker because obviously they're in better soil and it's warmer in the greenhouse and they're getting a lot more light. So if you are bothered, you can actually separate your seedlings out at this stage, but I just haven't done that. I'll do it in spring. And the ones in the box previously, I'll probably give them away or sell them, but these are probably going to be the ones I'm going to keep. You can see interesting features. This one still has 3 ribs. So we'll see if it stays that way. But anyways, thanks for watching this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below and I will answer them. Anyways, thanks for watching this video and I'll see you next one. Bye.